experience, Amarjit?
My name is Amarjit. I'm having 7+ years of experience based on Java development. So mostly I use Java, Spring Boot, microservices, a Spring Cloud component as a backend.
Okay, 7 years into total in Java.
Yeah, totally in Java, same 7+ years of experience.
Okay. Okay, can you please explain me about your
Sure. Yeah, thank you for asking. My name is Amarjit. I'm having 7+ years of experience. Currently, I'm doing Java development. So the technology which I have experience in Java with a Spring Boot, microservice, a Spring Cloud component as a backend, some of the exposures in front end as Angular 9. Also have a good experience in AWS Cloud Services and database which I use like Mongo and Oracle SQL. Coming for the DevOps, I have also good experience in the DevOps tools like Apache Maven, Jenkins, Jira, GitHub, ELK, Splunks and all. So these all are the tech stack which I have experience. Coming for the domain, I have also good experience in banking, telecom, e-commerce and health insurance. So currently which project I am working, that is based on health insurance. So that project is nothing but it's a portal like where we need to manage the customer, whatever the insurance he are taking, he and they are taking that one, so we need to manage that. So while we are managing this insurance portal, so we have a multiple microservices which will be considered. Like once users can log in, they will produce the order. So users can create an order. Once order will be created, then there will be some store will be generated and the payment will be happen. Then there will be some order rebate or some promo code need to be applied for this, so order promo code operations will be applicable, and notifications, email alerts and all will become. So multiple operations which need to be performed internally while users is taking any type of insurance. So we are my role and responsibility in this project, like we are following agile. So based on the agile, whatever the sprint task will be defined in that, based on the Jira task we need to work. So mostly my role and responsibility here, like we are developing a microservice development. So whatever the requirement will come from this customer or client, we need to develop. Some of the cases what will happen, like we have a multiple third party API call which need to be fulfill our requirement, or maybe I'll complete it to the customers fulfillment. So for that third party API we need to modify or maybe create a new API, so that our communications and all will happen. So that communications will happen by using asynchronous or synchronous way. So I use REST template or Kafka here. Apart from this, like whatever the we are developing applications, so that will be go for the different environment. So once it will go for the production environment, in that cases we need to stay on call while the deployment will happen in production. So what are the changes we have done, so we need to verify our changes, what are the respective configurations related for the productions that need to be checked, and also all the enables log security and whatever the things we need for this code is proper or not, so that we need to verify. Once the verification has completed, that will go for the deployment of production. Once production has deployed, then we need to check all the request response and log is coming proper or not. If any issues and all will happen, then we need to do some hotfix deployment immediately through that. So that's why we need to available on call. So that type of work I'm doing on daily basis. Yeah.
okay, fine, thank you. Hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, because you are seems you have got disconnected for some
Yeah,
time.
yeah, some
Okay,
network issue.
can you explain me what is the difference between abstract class and the interface?
Yeah, abstract class is like on definitions we can say like hiding the implementation and showing the functionality. So that is called abstract class. So abstract class will take in abstract keyword through the class, and there will have a concrete method and interface. Abstract method will be there. But in interface we'll have all are the methods will be abstract method, so that is we can say achieve 100% of abstractions. So while we are creating any business logic, that will be service class and service implementation class, and so that service implementation service class, that is an interface which we have a multiple abstract class. So our abstract class will will have a property which need to be like create or employee informations and all. So how internally implementation is working and all that we can't sure, because customer or client will no need to about these all configurations, because internally they will call the particular method of implementation class and that will be performed. So we can say like interface will have 100% of abstraction which will be achieved, and all the methods will be abstract method there itself. But in abstractions we'll have a concrete method, abstract methods, or if you don't know the full implementation of particular class, then in that cases we can go for abstract class. And
Okay, fine. Thank you. How the memory is
how?
managed in Java? How the memory will be managed in Java? Stack memory and heap memory.
Yeah, yeah.
Stack memory and heap memory. Yes.
Yeah, so memory management will happen like there are multiple ways are there in Java. Like we have a stack memory, a heap memory, program counter, native API, a native registered, and one more is there. So like while we are creating any object or creating class methods and all, so that will be allocated some memory. So some of the cases, if you have a static data and all, in that cases that will be loaded in the class level memory. If you have created any object based on the reference data, that will be stored in this heap memory. So heap memory will be have a temporary memory while that is allocated, that will be there. If you used or if you use the reference for that, then that will be unallocated. So that JVM will have a garbage collector. So through that they will release the memory or remove the unused type of memory. So that type of memory we have a stack, heap, program counter, native, class memory. Hello, 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 Suresh.
Okay, sorry. I was talking on mute. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Nice. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Uh, do you have experience in multi-threading?
Yeah, multi-threading I use like most of the things I use like it's a asynchronous communication, synchronizations, deadlock situations I worked on, thread life cycle like thread life cycle which will be perform the operations and all. So these type of things I worked in.
Okay, okay. Okay, can you explain me the difference between hash map and hash set?
Hash map and hash set. Yeah, hash map is a part of map interface. So that will be collect the data based on key and value. And set is a part of hash set is part of set interface, is used the data based on this data, and that data will be unique, so there will be no duplicate data will be allowed. So hash map internally, that will be based on the key and value will be called. So internally they have equals method and hash code method. So once you are inserting any data in that so that data will be checked like what is the key for that, sorry, what are the key and value, based on that they will create a hash code, and hash code will be generated and equals method. Suppose some of the cases hash code will be the same, in that cases they will to check the equals method. So equals method will check the content of the particular value, and then they have to shift it in the like a bucket. So that bucket will have a index of a start from 0 to 15. So there will have a like linky list and all. So suppose if in same index if you have a same type of hash code, then they will check the content of that, and that will be inserted in the next node of that, like that hash code, hash map. And hash set is a part of like set interface, so that will be used for the unique data. If you want a unique data to insert and all, then we can go for the hash set.
Okay, right. So, can you explain me the microservice architecture? What are the components are there in it? And with respect to your project, what you have done with respect to microservices? Yeah.
Yeah, microservices architectures mostly which I use like multiple domain I worked on microservices. So microservices is nothing but like whatever the monolithic application that will be divided in the micro based application. So suppose if you have a whole application, so you need to deploy it in a single time, and then if any issues will be happen, then you have to stop that. So monolithic application was a multiple disadvantage and was there. So instead of that, we have a like microservices. So microservices architectures like divided into multiple sub task or maybe sub modules, and that independent developers will work each others, and also they can do CI/CD configuration, deployments, and all auto CI/CD and all. So these things we have a 12 factor. Based on that, we can create a microservices. And apart from this architectures, like we can say we can use a Spring Cloud component. So based on the Spring Cloud component, we'll have a Eureka service registry and configuration, cloud configuration server, like circuit breakers and all. So through that we can manage our applications. So whatever the microservices applications we are working, that we can manage, like what are the service down, service fall which there, how many services are there, that we can track the application and all. Apart from this, also we have a multiple design patterns in microservices, which will be create a architectures of microservices. Like if any request is coming from the UI or third party, then that will be go for API gateway. So the API gateway is a design pattern which will be managed. And apart from this, once it will come, then Eureka service registry will be routed this request to the particular microservices. Then histix will be there, and we have a saga pattern. So that saga patterns will handle the transaction management. Suppose we have a multiple microservices need to be applicated, need to be communicated, and after that we need to update our transactions or business logic, so that our transactions or amount will be reflected. So for that we have a saga pattern, so that they will give the conformity, like the like orchestrations and all will be happen properly and all. And yeah, these all are the things.
Okay. So what is API gateway?
API gateway is nothing but is a like routing, like once users third party or maybe UI request will come. So instead of directly hitting the particular API, particular microservice and particular direct applications, so there will be some third party. So that API will have as a main gate. So there that will be request will come in API gateway, and API gateway will know like what type of request they are sending from the UI or maybe client, and where need to be sent, what type of microservices is required to communicate. So that will go for this direct for the particular microservice or Eureka service registry, so that we can secure our applications and all informations and all. So that API gateway will come in this picture.
Okay, fine, great. Okay, can you explain me any two issues that you faced recently or in the previous project, and you involved in resolving those issues? Any two technical issues? Can you explain me?
Yeah, one technical issues when I was deployed, as I already told that I have deployed the microservices development in production. So in that cases, there that depends on the multiple streams and all. So multiple patches and all was there in the particular microservices. And after that, once we have in productions, we'll have a multiple stage, like segments will be there, like multiple environment will be there for that. So instead of that, there are out of four environment, one environment was not working and three environment was working. So what happened, that cases we have like multiple inbuilt jar need to be required while we are running the microservices, or if new release, if you are deploying in the microservices. So based on that, internal jar was there, the bouncy castle. Bouncy castle is a jar that will be taken care as a based on the Java. So that was updated in all the services, all the instance, but three instance was working, one instance was not working. So what we have seen, like all the codes and all was proper. We have already done 4 to 5 environment tested, everything was work on, but why it went for the production was not working. So most of the respective team members and all was like checking, and that was not happening in that. So we need to do some hotfix deployments and all, we need to do some R&D immediately and all. So that client was also told like we need, why it's not working, I need some like a root cause for this. So we analyze like multiple things on the like logs, server logs, and then cloud logs. So multiple logs I seen, application log, cloud log, and server log. So application log look like a same, and their cloud log also look like same. Some of the cases what happened, the servers need also this jar. So that jars was automatic refresh will happen based on the which whatever the image or file we are placing based on that. So that was not happening in that due to some of blocker. So that blockers was there in the particular that instance only. Out of 4 instance, 3 was working, 1 was not working. So we seen that there was some logs which need to be collect. It takes time because multiple things need to be accessed direct. We can't access all the logs and all. So that we got the permissions, and then after that we done this analysis, and we found that the root cause, and we given then all the clients and everyone has appreciated, and then has been deployed now. So it worked on all environment. So this is the first thing which I have done in right now on the client side for that. And other thing like uh, other thing like we seen like mostly whatever the things we have, like developments and all is okay. Mostly configurations related things will be have issues in this deployments or maybe somewhere on the applications. So what we have seen, we used like a Spring Cloud config server. So that a Spring Cloud config server will have all the microservices configurations like application.yaml file and all. So some of the cases we used productions, but that was not routed with the, because that internal communications was happen with the different microservices. So that will be depends on this your application.yaml or maybe others file, that property file. So that was not refreshing in this config server, a Spring Cloud config server, which need to be auto refreshed and all will be enabled. So by default that cases was not refreshed. So we have put it some configurations like if hardly is not in auto refresh, then we need some configuration which need to be added in the application dot property, so which will be auto refreshed automatically, and then we don't need to be taken care all those things like that.
Okay, fine. Thank you. And you have experience in this one, Angular JS?
Mostly Angular. I used like some of the experience I have. While we have my application is based on Angular with Java microservices. So while if any issues will be coming on that and client is raising a request through the Jira or somewhere, then we can see like what type of request is there and what are the issues, and we need to analyze either is based on this UI side or maybe backend side or maybe some configuration side. So that type of things we need to analyze, and also we need to add the logs or maybe read the logs from this UI sides and backend side. Then we can find it the root cause, and then we change this. So that type of things I'm doing in Angular also.
Okay. And what is singleton class? And can you please give me an example where a singleton class be used?
Yeah, singleton class is like it's a design patterns of Java. So at a time only one instance will be created, and the same instance we can refer everywhere, like that is called singleton. So we can create a singleton, custom singleton also, and there are multiple ways to create or break the singleton. But where we can use in real time, like suppose if you have a data property, so database you are accessing. So if you want to access the database, so while in a particular application or particular business logic, maybe you need to call multiple time for the particular database. In that cases, the instance which you are connecting like a connection strings and all which you are creating, that we can create a singleton. So at a time only one instance will be created, and that instance will be referred for the second time. No need to create every time and term. If you will create, then there will be multiple things will happen, process and all, space and all, memory.
Okay, fine. So, what is the most challenging technical issue that you faced till now in your entire career, Amarjit?
Most challenges technical.
Mhm. Most challenging technical situation, most challenging task you face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apart from this, like while we develop a microservices or a Spring Boot application, some of the cases, as per the business requirement or BRD document, we have developed some of the applications or maybe features, and then we seen like a proper request was not coming as per the request response we created already DTO and all, database connections is proper, and then proper request was not coming, that type of things. And after that we have seen transactions was not updated properly. Like we have added some transactions, that transactions was not validated properly, so we need to filter some validators and all that type of things we done on. And apart from this, some of the cases we seen, like we have put it the handler like exceptions and all, that exception is not handling, that is skipping for particular handle exception handler and all. So in that cases we need to debug the particular application and check like where exactly the fail, what type of business logic is skipping and all, skip, so that we think some of the cases we seen test cases also was not covering as per the requirements and all, so that we found.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Amarjit. That's it from my side.